Hello ladies and gentlemen, Alex here from PowerMES, and today I have the Nexus 4 Revisited. Now in this video we're going to be taking a look at this phone and how it compares to other smartphones out there right now. So let's take a look. Before we get started, let's take one quick look at our sponsors. This video was brought to you by ABT Electronics. You can go there to get all of your electronics, and you can even rent some of the awesome things. And for this phone, I got it sent to me by Negri Electronics. Negri Electronics is a store where you can buy all kinds of unlocked phones, and they're usually the first ones to get it. So go take a look at both of those stores. Taking a look at the Nexus 4 compared to some of the other really high-end smartphones such as the HTC One and the soon-to-be S4, the Nexus 4 holds up well. I mean, there are some flaws like I will talk about later on in this video, but overall I think this phone is very solid. It's got some great features and it's got some good build quality. So the first thing I think I have to mention is the quad-core processor in this phone. This processor books it when it comes to everyday tasks such as browsing the internet, using Google Now, or just flipping through the home screens. You can notice that that CPU is going all out to give you the best performance in this phone. Another thing that I've found that is really nice and is definitely an improvement from the Nexus, from the Galaxy Nexus actually, is the screen. It has a 720p screen that did come on the Galaxy Nexus, but for some reason I feel like it's more sharp and it's a bit more crisp than the one on the Galaxy Nexus is. And it's a good screen. It's 4.7 inches and it looks very nice when you're playing YouTube videos or browsing the web. And again, with that quad-core processor, it makes it very snappy. Now another thing that I really like on this phone is the gray, kind of grayish like bezel that has like a grippy feel to it. Now the phone is made entirely of glass, so it definitely can be a little bit slippery, but since they added this gray trim on the sides of it, it makes it very nice to hold in the hand, and it's kind of tapered off, so when you're holding it you get a really solid feel, and it just feels really good with those two pieces of glass on the front and back. Now, moving on to the glass, the back has this really cool kind of like polka dotted back that looks really, I'd go as far as saying it looks gorgeous when it hits the sunlight. You see the polka dots when like full force when you get it to the right angle, and when you do, it's stunning. It definitely catches you off guard the first time that you see it, and it makes a very nice addition to the phone. Now, something kind of small but is definitely very helpful to me in this phone is definitely that LED notification in the bottom of the phone. It is green when you get a text message or something important, and it's white when you get an email. And this has come so helpful to me because I don't have to turn on the screen, and it's so helpful. I mean, I had it on the Galaxy S3 and I really liked it, and I wish more phones would incorporate a LED notification light. Now, onto some things that I really did not like about this phone. The camera on the back was definitely lacking. I have some pictures here of it in low light and in daylight. And in daylight you can see that the pictures are washed out. You don't really get that crispness that you get on some other phones. And the camera's definitely lacking. Even though it does include that really cool photosphere feature, it definitely doesn't improve the quality of the camera because, like I said before, the camera's just washed out and it's not very good. Even though it is an 8 megapixel sensor, it's kind of lacking in my cases. And especially in low light, I mean, I wouldn't even pull the phone out in low light because you can't get a picture of anything. If you're in like a bar or something with poor lighting, you're not going to get it. And another thing that I have a major complaint about, it's absolutely horrible, is the speaker. The speaker on this thing is very tinny. I haven't had a phone with the speaker this bad, and I've tested about probably 9 phones, and the speaker is just terrible. When you turn it up to full volume, you get extreme distortion, and it's really bad. I can't put it a different way than it's just horrible. It's like one of the worst I've ever used. In fact, it is the worst camera I've ever used. And something else that I really liked about this phone is the button placement. Now, the button placement of this is absolutely perfect. When I hold the phone, I'm instantly near the power button, and I'm just a thumb away from the volume rocker, which is really nice for if I'm playing something and it's too loud and I can just turn it down. And it's really nice. The button layout is almost perfect in my cases. Now, comparing this to other smartphones out there, it holds up very well. The speed is right on par with the HTC One, I'm hoping. I haven't tested the HTC One yet though, so I'm still hoping to get one. But from what I've heard, the phone is good. And in this case, I really like this phone. It's from its really cool back to its quad-core processor to it running 4.2.2 Jelly Bean, which is another awesome thing about this phone, because you're going to get all the software updates right away as Google is pushing them out. You're not going to have to wait for the carrier or for like Samsung or anyone. You're going to get them right away, and it's just a good phone. And something else that I kind of just remembered is this chrome bezel you see on the side of the phone. It adds a very nice look to the phone, and it just makes it look extremely well, and it makes it look better. It makes it look more like a high-class phone, even though it is only costing $300 to $350 depending on the size that you want. And now size is another thing I have to talk about. The size of the battery on this phone is absolutely amazing. It is a 2300 milliamp hour battery, and it just kills it out there. I mean, I went a day and like 14 hours I think of not charging it, and it got all the way down to 12%, but I still had a day and 14 hours of use, not of use actually, of the phone being on. And for the screen on time on that day, I had 4 hours and 30 minutes. This is good as a tablet. This battery on this phone is killing it, even though it's powering a quad-core processor, a 720p screen, and just an awesome actual phone. I loved the battery on this phone. I couldn't have asked for a better one. And now something that I also have to talk about is the size increments. Now this only goes from 8 to 16, and in this case Negro Electronics did send me an 8 one. But I mean, it's really not that bad. I've been downloading apps and everything, and I still have 6 gigs of storage left. I mean, I'm definitely going to be keeping this phone for a little bit, and I'm going to end up upgrading to a 16 gigabyte phone just because I want that extra space, and I feel like 8 gigs is a little low, even though the price point of an 8 gig Nexus 4 is $300. But if you can get one, I would definitely recommend getting one, because there is usually that like kind of weird thing with a pre-order that was going on. But again, this phone, if you can find one, definitely buy it if you're looking to upgrade. But if you're wanting like a full-fledged 1080p screen, then I guess you're gonna have to go with the HTC One or S4. But if you're just looking for a good, solid smartphone that'll keep you on par with the market for 2 years, this is definitely one to go. Even though it's not really on contract, it's a great phone. I can't think of a better one for the price point, and it's just a great phone. So my opinion on this, whether it can hold up to the S4 and HTC One, is definitely, it kills it out there in specs. It's definitely a screamer when it comes to that processor, and it's just a good phone. I definitely think that it'll be able to hold out for another year or so. Now that's just my opinion, and I'd like to hear your guys' opinion on this phone, so leave a comment on what you think of it. And for this video, I'm Alex from PowerMES, and thank you for watching.